Hi everybody, welcome to a quick news video with the latest update from Onepagerules. Maybe you have seen my latest video with Orcs and Goblins fighting the Eternal Dynasty. That turned out to be my last video using the Orc Marauders army list, because this week Onepagerules announced their new Orc miniatures and also the new army list for Orc Marauders. An army list with changes to names and units, and one very significant change, at least to me. There are no goblins. So, are the goblins now out of Grimdark Future? No, quite the opposite in fact. Say hello to the new faction, the Goblin Reclaimers, a complete new faction, highlighting the gobos in Grimdark Future. But before we dig deeper into the goblins, let's just take a quick look at the Orcs. As I mentioned, Onepagerules will release completely new miniatures supporting all the available units in the Orc Marauders army list. And the new Orc models here look really cool in my opinion. I like the style of miniature and the variety in different sculpts and weapons. Unfortunately, I already have a lot of Orcs. The changes to the army lists are mostly name changes, but also a few tweaks here and there. Bosses are now called veterans, orc mobs are now called warriors, commandos are called infiltrators, jetpack orcs are now called jump pack orcs, and orc pirates are now called veteran specialists. And then a new type of unit has been added, the berserkers. All of that will probably work fine, and I look forward to work with the new army list. But what I'm most excited about is actually the goblins. The new faction has two types of goblin heroes and several interesting units. Goblin boss, shooter mob, storm mob, commandos and looters, and of course also some heavier units, killer tank, death walker, and artillery. And Onepagerules have also announced Goblin minis in the future. But until then, where do you look if you want to get started right away with the Goblin Reclaimers? If you look for 40k goblins like these here, there's not a lot to choose from. The Gretchen are cool minis and the killer cans will also do the trick. A box of 10 Gretchen here will not cost you that much really, and you can change the different weapons on them so they will fit most of the units in the new Goblin Reclaimers army list. Another option is to check out Station Forge. Here you can find cool looking minis for regular goblin infantry, like these, with a variety of small and heavier weapons. And also minis here that could easily be used as a boss champ hero or a champ hero. Smaller weapons, heavier weapons, melee weapons, you're pretty much covered here. There are also the Goblin Jetsters with weapons and jetpacks that will fit perfectly as storm mob goblins. These goblins can be fitted with a jetpack, and they also have weapons that match the models here. If you want a more pirate-style Reclaimers army, that's also possible to find from Station Forge. This rather large pack will give you goblins with modern as well as older type weapons, and they look really cool if you like the pirate theme. Finally, you can also find models that will fit as death walkers. So that's where I will look now to build my army list and try out the Goblin Reclaimers. The new faction comes with lore as well, and all that is already available on the Onepagerules site. I'll not go into detail about the army list and the units. A brief look tells me that there is a good variety and some fun and crazy and cool units you can use in your army, and then I think they look surprisingly strong. Well, don't get me wrong, they are goblins, but they have a defense of 6, but their quality in most cases are now 5 or 4, and that's better than the goblins I remember, at least from the previous army list. So, if you're into orcs and or goblins, these are some quite significant and interesting news. I think it's a great move that the goblins now have their own faction, and of course, The Orcs and Goblins can still fight side by side if you combine the army list. No worries there. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you'll join me for future videos.